What is up, everybody? Back with another top 10 here today, and it's going to be my 10 favorite Canadian metal albums, eh? So we got 10 albums from Canada I'm going to be talking about here that are my personal favorite metal albums from the Great White North up there to my north. It's pretty interesting too. Canada, a lot of good classics. They've got a lot of really good modern albums as well. I will say they are really big on that new wave of traditional heavy metal movement. If you don't know, I'm sure a lot of you do, but if you don't know, just in case, new wave of traditional heavy metal, big movement that started over the last 15 or so years. Modern bands trying to recapture that classic 80s metal sound of, the greats Iron Maiden and Judas Priest. I'd say are like the main influences for that, but a lot of the other classic bands as well. And also, before I get into this list, I got a new tattoo, cool Motorhead Snaggletooth that I think turned out really well. Hopefully I get some more tattoos pretty soon, but gonna get right into it here with my number 10, Long Live the Loud, Exciter, 1985. It is their third studio album. It's tough to choose with them which one is the best, but for me personally, this is my favorite. Heavy Metal Maniac, of course, is a classic from 83. Their first several are really good, I'd say, and a lot of people do consider them the first thrash metal band. That people call them speed metal, thrash, whatever. It gets confusing when you're talking about the little nuances of all these different subgenres, but good classic metal, very fast, aggressive here on Long Live the Loud, which I love. I love Dan Beehler on the vocals. He's a great singing drummer. There's not a ton of those in metal, but he does it, and he is definitely one of the best, if not the best. I love his voice. He's not the best technical singer or anything, but he has a good grittiness and aggressiveness and raspiness to his voice that I really love. It's instantly recognizable. He does these cool, just shrieking high screams that are very awesome all throughout their songs. But looking at these, a couple of my favorites, I'd say I Am the Beast, Victims of Sacrifice, and Born to Die. Great classic speed metal here. My number 10, Long Live the Loud, Exciter. Number 9, I got Traveler, their self-titled debut, which is on my shirt here from 2019. It's pretty unfortunate. I just noticed a couple weeks ago they broke up at the beginning of this year. They were together about 6 or 7 years. 3 albums, were really good. A new wave of traditional heavy metal band. Very Iron Maiden influenced. You can hear it a lot throughout these songs, especially on the first album. Starbreaker, Street Machine, Fallen Heroes, just really, really great choruses, catchy songs. Cool dual guitar harmonization like Iron Maiden style. Check these guys out. Good classic sound. Traveler, self-titled, 2019. Number 8, got some black metal here. A Diabolic Thirst by Spectral Wound, 2021. This was one of my top albums of 2021. Just really great, aggressive, dark, evil stuff here. Love the production on here. It's got a really cool kind of reverb and just cool echo to the vocals and the guitars and stuff. Very good. I saw these guys live a couple years back. Great show. Looking at these songs, Frigid and Spellbound, Soul Destroying, Black Debauchery, a couple of my favorites. But the vocals, I really love, especially on this album. My number 7, I got Soldiers of Misfortune by Sacrifice, another Canadian staple when it comes to, extreme metal, kind of extreme thrash. I don't know if people really call thrash extreme metal anymore, but good classic thrash, the big 4 of thrash metal up there. Sacrifice, Voivod, Razor, and Annihilator. Sacrifice, people call them the Canadian Slayer. They're very aggressive, the first 2 albums especially, but on this one, Soldiers of Misfortune, they kind of shifted, not quite as primal and aggressive. It is still that, but the production is a little bit better. The musicianship is a little bit better, more technical with the songs and the guitar playing and all that, which I really like. I like the vocals from Rob Urbanati on vocals is really good. Joe Rico on guitar is a really great guitarist as well. Looking at these songs, As the World Burns is really great to open it up. The title track, of course, is awesome. They actually did just put out a new album for the first time in 15 or 16 years, so check that one out too. It's good stuff, and it's cool. They've got the whole original band still going, which I really like and respect. But yeah, this always been my favorite Sacrifice album. Really good stuff. Number 7, Soldiers of Misfortune. My number 6, this is a band that I think is kind of interesting because they, I don't think they really ever were too big, and it kind of makes me wonder, is it because the band name is kind of a little silly? It's Killer Dwarfs, Dirty Weapons, which I've got a cassette copy of I absolutely love this album. It's, classic metal, some Judas Priest influence, but it's kind of some glam metal there as well. Doc and Judas Priest style. The vocals, especially, is what's really amazing to me. Russ Dwarf, I think his real name's Russ Graham, but his voice is amazing. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Jack Russell from Great White, a little bit of Lenny Wolf from Kingdom Come, a little raspy, very powerful, just really awesome, majestic voice. Looking at these songs, a lot of them are very catchy, amazing riffs. The songs are just really, really well constructed. The title track is awesome. Nothing Gets Nothing has just an amazing chorus, especially. Very catchy stuff. Coming Through is probably my favorite. Nice heavy riff. Great vocals on that one. But really, top to bottom here, just an amazing album. Dirty Weapons, Killer Dwarfs, my number 6. So this one definitely should have been a lot bigger. They've got, their debut album I really love as well. It's kind of weird because the debut I like a lot, then the next two are just okay. Then Dirty Weapons is amazing from 1990, and then after that, the next album's all right. But yeah, just really awesome stuff there with Dirty Weapons. Next up at number 5, I've got Head of the Pack by Skull Fist. Came out in 2011. Amazing album, amazing band. I'm a huge fan of these guys. Pretty much love all their stuff. This one is just absolutely awesome, though. Their debut full length. Zach Slaughter on vocals and guitar. Great musician, really cool guy. He does a lot of really awesome guitar work on this album. The songs are very well crafted and very catchy. They flow perfectly, I think. Commanding the Night, Cold Night, and Ride On are my favorites, but his vocal melodies he puts together throughout these songs are very catchy and awesome. I love the choruses. There's great, shred mixed in here. There's great harmonization with the guitar work with the other guitar player, Johnny Nesta. Just really, really good stuff here. I'm a huge fan, so they are my number 5 here, Head of the Pack. Now, my number 4, maybe 5 years ago, I would have said this was my number 1 Canadian metal album. It's fallen a bit, but still love it. Never Never Land by Annihilator. I'm a huge Jeff Waters fan. I think he's one of the best guitar players ever. He is possibly the best shredder. Just how fast and precise he can be. But he's chaotic but controlled. He's just an amazing guitar player, and it's kind of unfair, I feel like, to Annihilator because a lot of people say just their first 2 albums are good, which is extremely false. The first 2, I can understand saying they're the best, but they've got a lot of good material up through the 90s into the 2000s. King of the Kill, Refresh the Demon, Criteria for a Black Widow, Carnival Diablos, Waking the Fury. These are all amazing albums. Of course, also Set the World on Fire. But, maybe one of the reasons they didn't really get as much respect as they should have is because they changed vocalists so much. They have a different vocalist on each of their first 4 albums. But for me, I don't really care as long as Jeff Waters is there putting down his amazing guitar playing. I love it. But I'd say this one is their best and most consistent album, Never Never Land. Love the production, love the guitar playing from Jeff. You got Coburn Farr on vocals, which was a change, obviously, as I said. From their first album, that was Randy Rampage, who was a cool singer. Coburn Farr is a good singer. He's not the best singer ever or anything, but he is a serviceable singer. Looking at these songs, The Fun Palace, great one. Imperiled Eyes has an amazing riff. Reduced to Ash has one of the best solos from the whole Annihilator catalog. Listen to that one if you're not familiar with it. And Phantasmagoria, a staple for them. Great stuff. Really cool album. Never Never Land, my number 4. Now, number 3, one that is a lot more modern. I got Burn the Night by Riot City from 2019. Amazing. The vocals from, his name is Kale Savvy. Should remember his name, but he's an amazing vocalist. He also does guitar. He switched from doing, it was kind of like a Halloween situation where you had Kai Hansen do vocals and guitar on the first album. Then he switched to just playing guitar. That's what this guy did. But his vocals are better than Kai's, I feel like. He's just an amazing high screaming vocalist, this Kale Savvy is. But he switched to just playing guitar on the second album for whatever reason. Maybe he just wanted to focus on guitar. Maybe he, put too much strain on his voice and he couldn't sing as good anymore. But the vocals on this album are insane. Some of the best high screams you're going to hear in any album in metal over the last, 15, 20 years. Just awesome stuff. The songs, again, super catchy, just amazing. Love Warrior in Time, In the Dark, 329 has just an awesome chorus. They have kind of the gang vocal melody chorus where they're all singing together, which is very catchy and cool. A lot of bands did that back in the day, kind of Def Leppard style a little bit, but this is faster and more aggressive than that. But yeah, really awesome album. It's one of the best released, I feel like, in the last 10 years, easily. Possibly the best metal album of the last 10 years. Burn the Night, Riot City. My number 3 here. My number 2, going back to the 80s, got Violent Restitution by Razor. Awesome stuff. It is a freaking thrash classic. I love the guitar here again from Dave Carlo. He's got amazing tone, great riffs. Just very, very awesome. I did see Razor live a couple years back. They didn't have the same vocalist singing that they have. They had Sheepdog McLaren on this. This was the last album with him, and then he hasn't really been involved with the band much after this. But yeah, last album with him. He's another guy that's got kind of like a high screeching vocal, which I think is really cool. But to me, the standout for sure, the guitar playing, the riffs, the tone is all amazing from Dave Carlo. Looking at these songs, the martial arts to open it up into Hypertension, really awesome. Taste the Floor, just really aggressive, hard-hitting thrash metal that is amazing. So that is my number 2, one of the best thrash albums ever. My number 2 there. And my number 1 is going to be Skull Fist, Chasing the Dream. I talked about how much I love them a minute ago with the other album, but this one to me is just awesome. It's one of my favorite albums ever. I've ranked it in my top 10 before when I talk about my 10 favorite albums ever. Again, could say all the same stuff I said about Head of the Pack for this album. Just great vocals from Zach. I love his choruses that he puts together. Love his vocal melodies. Love his guitar playing. The tone, the production on this is really cool. Got a great classic 80s sound to it. The reverb is really good on it. Hour to Live to open it up. Bad for Good, which I first discovered them through that movie Deathgasm, you know, like 6-7 years ago, which is a stupid movie, good movie, but it's kind of silly and stupid. But Skull Fist was in there, and I was like, wow, these guys sound awesome. Check them out. They're one of my favorite bands ever since. You're Gonna Pay, Mean Street Rider is really cool. It's kind of interesting. The beginning of that song, and there's a little clip that plays of somebody falling, and it's actually Zach. There's a video of it on YouTube. He broke his neck skateboarding. They put it as the beginning little clip to that song, Mean Street Rider, then it breaks into the song. But yeah, man, a really awesome song and album. Sign of the Warriors, another great one. Call of the Wild. Could list every single song on here. Fantastic start to finish. The best Canadian metal album for me. Chasing the Dream, Skull Fist, and a couple honorable mentions I guess I'll run through. Got Irrelevant by Slick Toxic from 1994. They're a band that started off glam metal, then kind of shifted into more of like an Alice in Chains, a little bit darker, heavier, which I, in this case, like a little bit better. Really cool album. Aurora Borealis by the band Dark Forest, some cool black metal from the mid-2000s. Burning Fortune by Cauldron, cool band again that kind of came up with the new wave of traditional heavy metal. I got Primordial Serpent. This is a band that's come up in the last 5 years or so, black metal. The guy is a machine that is behind this band. It's a one-man project, but he's put out like 10 or 11 albums in the last 5 years, which is insane. But Enlightenment Through Impurity is probably my favorite from 2023 by them. And of course, you know, the first couple Voivod albums are awesome. A lot of these bands that I talked about have other albums that are very good as well. But those were my 10 favorite. Let me know what your 10 favorite Canadian metal albums are in the comments if you want to. Let me know what you thought about my list. And until next time, thank you guys for watching.